exactly what you want to know.
You're right.
Thank you. You guys are catching the flow of this.
I'm Catholic. This is like being in church.
Sit, stand, sit, stand.
Yep, oh, yeah.
Please describe your expertise as a financial services professional and how this will be utilized as controller.
Oh, yeah, thank you. As I mentioned in my opening statement, I am an accountant. It has been my profession of 30 years. I've had my own practice for 25 years. My client niche is small business. So working with small business owners and helping them to run their businesses, being a trusted advisor, and watching them grow over, a couple of decades now has been so gratifying. And that's the skill that I want to take and put to work in the comptroller's office.
In addition to having worked on a dozen county budgets as a county legislator, I have taught the public administration and public policy courses at Canisius College for the last 36 years. At its heart, at its core, the job of Erie County Controller is public administration. Public administration is different from private administration. You can argue one is tougher, one is easier, but it's different. It's different navigating things in the public sector. You have public employee unions, you have civil service regulations. In New York State, it's even tougher. You have the Taylor Law, etc. I have the experience both in local government, state and local government, in fact, in New York State, and public administration. Having taught public administration, I like to say for the last 4 years, I've been practicing what I've been preaching to my students all along. I'm going to stay up.
All right. Mr. Hardwick, as controller, you must work across agency lines and party lines to serve the public. In your oversight position, how will you ensure your office will not use or will use its power fairly? Sorry, bad handwriting.
Well, I think it speaks to something that I'm most proud of, especially our audits. My audit of the county clerk's office received more attention than any of the audits that we've done, even though, as I said earlier, the law audit, we found $1 million, that kind of went under the radar. The clerk's office, we found a $326,000 counterfeit check drawn on the clerk's account that he didn't know was there. We said we got that money back. We found an employee embezzling over $300,000, and that employee is now in jail, and I don't take any great joy in that. It was a sad situation. But at the end of the day, even though the county clerk pushed back at us, and I take no great pride in the fact that I raised my voice in a joint interview with him on WBEN and on my old Hardline show. At the end of the day, we made some recommendations. He took them to heart. We said you need some different people, better staff to do the accounting there. You need better software. He went to the legislature, asked for them. The legislature balked. We went to bat for him. We went to bat for the county clerk who we had just been having problems with, because at the end of the day, that's what good government is all about. It's putting aside your differences and doing what's right. In the end, we made the county clerk's office better. So I think I've not only changed the culture in my own department, we've made other departments, including the county clerks, better.
Ms. Zarnick, as controller, you must work across agency lines and party lines to serve the public. In your oversight position, how will you ensure your office will use its power fairly?
While I'm not a career politician, when I lived in South Carolina several years ago, before I moved back here 5 years ago, I did serve on my town board. Now, in South Carolina, town board elections are nonpartisan. So while I was active with the Republican Party, I was able to go to the Democratic Party and ask them for support, and I got it. And working on the town board, ally was a Democrat, but a fiscal conservative. So we were very much of the same mind and worked together very well to serve our constituents. Now, I want to take that same spirit and work in an advisory capacity to the members of the legislature. Okay, for instance, I think they should have been advised against moving forward with the ErieNet project, okay? A little bit of research shows that 90% of municipal broadband projects are financial failures. And those other municipalities that tried this, they were in the same spot that Erie County now finds themselves. So that's one example where working across party lines and establishing good relationships with all the members of the legislature. So they know that when you bring them information, they can trust what you're trying to help them with.
Mr. Zarnik, Ms. Zarnik, you're gonna be first.
Okay.
Please comment on the need for the plan to consolidate the 2 jail facilities at one location in Alden for almost $500 million. How is this a wise expenditure for our citizens, the families, and those incarcerated and the staff?
Yeah, I don't know yet that it is. I don't have enough information. I know when I served on my town board, we had capital projects calendars that looked 5 years, 10 years, 20 years out. So without looking at the total need of what our capital improvements and expenditures are going to be, I can't say that that's a good investment yet or not.
Yeah, when Christine says that she doesn't have enough information to say whether this is a good idea or not, I think she's exactly right, and I would agree with her on that. And I don't think that the legislature has enough information. Yet they seem as though they're going full bore towards this plan. County Executive released a budget yesterday proposal. It contains $20 million in it for further design work for the legislature, or for the new jail, the consolidated facility. Once you spend that $20 million, I mean, we're not talking about $100,000 for a feasibility study. We're talking $20 million for actual design work. Once you do that, you're in. And you're talking a facility that probably came out, it was going to cost $420 million. Then a week later, it was $450-some million. It's going to cost $500 million. And unlike the stadium, it's not going to be the Pagulas paying for most of it, and it's not going to be the state paying the largest governmental share. It's going to be Erie County on the hook. That's going to, I've had my people do some work, that's going to double our debt service, annual debt service payments. It's going to be a budget buster, and that's why in this morning's Buffalo News, there's an article, and at the end of it, I'm quoted as saying, the legislature should really look long and hard at this. I don't think it's the best solution. I think we have to do something. The situation now is unsustainable, it's intolerable, but I'm not sure that we should bust the budget on this one. Catching that.
Good exercise. All right. We are winding down, and we are going to have one last question that's been posed to all of our candidates so far today. And then we'll go into closing statements. In ranked choice voting, voters rank candidates for office in the order of their preference. The tally assures that one candidate has a majority of votes casted to be elected. How do you think having this ranked choice voting system for Erie County elections would or would not benefit its residents?
Well, I was listening to obviously, I hope we're ready for this question because we've heard it a few times now. And I was listening to Mr. Davis's response earlier, and I think he nailed it. I think in theory, it's a great idea. It really is. And as a political scientist, putting my political scientist hat on it, I would endorse it. I think it's a great idea. Problem is, in its implementation, the devil is in the detail. One of the problems where we've seen it implemented so far, it's caused a lot of confusion. And at this point in time, especially in Erie County, in a year like this, when we're anticipating we're fearing record low turnout. People are turned off, they don't want to vote. If you throw this additional wrinkle at them without enough education, and I know that's what the League of Women Voters does, and I hope that you'll continue that, and I hope eventually maybe we can move to ranked choice voting. But at this time, I don't think it's the best solution, because I think it would turn off voters further, cause further confusion, and impact turnout.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Hardwick's statements. The theory is good, but the implementation, I think, is troublesome. And I think for voters, and to make sure that we do have voters informed and participating, which is a big deal, each election needs to be its own event.
All right, that brings us to closing statements. Ms. Zarnick, will you lead that up?
Sure. Yeah, as I said, I think I have the background and the experience and a good outline of changes that would be positive to bring to this office. Increasing the transparency, eliminating redundancies, making the office more efficient, I think are extremely important and will be money savers. And I think we can't ignore what we have seen over the years in county government. Spending has gone up almost exponentially. Budgeted spending was supposed to be 32% more over the past 4 years. Actual spending was 40% more. Okay, that pace is absolutely unsustainable. So we need to take a look, where does the waste exist? And in my opinion, the waste exists in administration and in patronage. Having lived in another state, I can tell you that patronage jobs, they really don't exist. But it's been part of the system here for so long, and it's very expensive to you, the taxpayers. Also, making sure that the county pays their bills on time. That can be a very dangerous thing. Also, slow payments are keeping small business owners out of the bidding process with Erie County contracts, because cash flow is so tight for smaller businesses. I want to make sure that we level that playing field and allow our local business owners to participate.
I guess I want to end where I began. I want to talk about respect. Certainly, I respect the League of Women Voters and the forum and the idea here. I think it's great, especially in these divisive times. But a great deal of respect for Christine and the campaign that she's running and the ideas she's put forth, and I want her to know that I am listening to her ideas, because we don't have a monopoly on the good ideas. And I certainly respect those panels, and I want them to bring home to use in my house when the great-grandchildren are over, because I'd like to stop them in their tracks the way you've stopped candidates here. As I said earlier, I think I have a great deal of respect for the people in the controller's job, for the people in the controller's office, for the folks that do that important work, for that important work, and for the taxpayers. And I'd like to think that we've made our mark on it. I think we've not only changed the culture in the controller's office, but we made other county departments, the clerks and others, better for us being there and for us working with them. Because again, in the end, that's good government. And that's what I've taught for the last 36 years to a couple generations now of students at Canisius College. Good government, reaching across the aisle, people working together. In the end, I hope that through this campaign, the voters of Erie County will know that I can do the job of Erie County Controller, because I've done the job of Erie County Controller, and I think we've done it well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would invite you all to offer a round of applause to these two great candidates. In fact, I want to thank every one of you for being here to engage in democracy today. I want to thank all of the lead volunteers and the wonderful staff of the Senior Center for their warm hospitality and assistance with this morning's events. Flyers with the location of the early voting sites, as I stated earlier, are available outside, as well as other voting information, including the They Represent You guide. It's very informative, and it is from our elected officials. Remember, Election Day is November 4th from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Early voting begins the 25th. It's from the 25th through November 1st, or excuse me, 2nd. Oh gosh. Thank you all for making this a productive morning. God bless you all.